Good morning, everyone. So, I am Grace Villarmo sa Silagan, and I will be continuing the report of Miss Patigayon and Miss Piñas, which our topic is all about agricultural and rural geography. So, we are the group 6, and this morning I will be continuing this what is all about the agricultural and rural geography. So before we start, we have to identify what is agricultural geography. So agricultural geography is considered here within the context of the influences that affect the decision made by farmers and hence the special distributions and trends in agricultures. Also, it focuses specifically on farms, including ranches and farming, productions of food, fiber, and foil, economic policy, and resource issues related to agriculture and farm, household, and livelihood concern. So, from the world agricultural, we have to put in our mind nga kani siya is needed jud ni nato because here in the Philippines our number one sector nga kuan sa ato is the agricultural, right? So from we can hear this agricultural geography, it's the study of the phenomenon bitaw nga and effects that lead to the formations of earth, tough surface and different regions. So also agricultural is it to do with farming. So we all know that farming kay we all know I am also a product and my parents are farmers and my ancestors, my lolo and lola and so I grow up in uh, Surigao del Sur, Natandag Surigao del Sur, which we practice kanang mananom jud. So we kanang kuan jud nga every one of us know or gamay ra ang portion nga wala naka-try anay farming. So okay, the work of growing crops or rearing animals, so ana nag-work siya sa growing of crops like mga rice, corn, and also kanang mga mamuhi kag mga hayupan or mga animals. So it includes classification and mapping of different kinds of land use. So study of forms of organizations of land use of agricultural enterprises and the investigations of the productive ties of agricultural. So we have to question ourselves nga, we need agricultural budget. Yes, it's definitely, absolutely yes. We really need agriculture. So this decision making process, dili ta makaingon nga, oh gamay ang mga pesti or mga pest sa atong crops kay mana na ang problem nato. So no, dili ra ang pest ang problem sa once we kanang go into farming. So we have different factors nga maka-influence or maka-affect sa atong crops, not only the pest or mga peste sa mga atong tanom. Another is also the water. If we have to plant rice, diba na need tag water. Then also mga medicina in order to kanang ma-prevent to ang mga pest. So next is agriculture. So agriculture is based on land and on plants and animals, growth and reproductions, with this being managed to varying extent by humans. So as we all know, so kinsa lang kahas ato adiri no nga we don't know the word agriculture. So here in the Philippines, dako jud kayo tag land, dako jud kayo tag abundant kayo sa land, no? We have so many kanang daghan kay tag agricultural sectors there is sa Pilipinas. So that's it. So agriculture is the backbone. It is the backbone of the economic system in our country, no? So it also provides food. Yes, it's very true. It provides us food. Unsa kanang kada adlaw natong gikaon like our rice, our vegetables, our gikaon nato nga mga kanang animals nga pang-ihaw. So asa man nagikan? It's because of the agriculture. So it's one way nga mo-produce nato og foods and also raw materials. Agriculture also provides employment opportunities to a very large percentage of the population. So that's very true. Kay ang agriculture mao jud na need jud nag mga manpower. It needs people. So next is biophysical environment. So biophysical environment is the biotic and abiotic surroundings of an organisms or populations, and consequently includes the factors that have an influence in their survival, development, and evolutions. So the biophysical environment can vary in scale from microscopic to global in extent. So it also be survived according to its attributes. So examples of this includes the marine environment, the atmospheric environment, and the terrestrial environment. So when we hear the word environment, no, the term environment, so we can also know nga ang environment kay the surroundings nga unsa tong surroundings karon. Also, the term environment can refer to a singular global environment in relation to humanity for a local biophysical environment. So example ani kay katong UK Environment Agency, no? So it's also the expression to the environment nga ma-refer siya sa singular global environment in relation sa humanity bitaw sa mga tao sa kalibutan. Also the interactions of it. So all life sa tanang kalibutan at tanang kinabuhi na that has survived, examples are humans, animals, and plants, and has survived must have adapted to the conditions of its environment temperature. So we have to adapt, sa conditions. So next is a conductive biophysical environment. So it's necessary for small harder farmer to achieve optimal yields that are required for secured food and improved livelihoods. So kaning conductive is it is necessary nga kana ang sa especially ani sa mga small farmers, small hoarder farmers nga makakuan gid sila, maka-achieve sila og maka-require sila, maka-secure sila sa ilahang pagkaon. So I also product of a farmers, first jud na wala jud na mo huna-huna ang money. We never the first comes in our mind nga nganong magtanom mig crops. It's because for our survival. Next is the favorable climatic conditions are important biophysical factors for successful farmers. So kaning favorable climatic conditions kani siya is very important for us farmers nga kani siya nga factors para mas-successful bitaw ang farming. So that's it. May mga conditions in order for us to be successful. But as a farmers, we have different techniques and ideas. We have different ideas in order for us to be successful. We don't rely on the conditions, but also we rely on the klima. So the climate. So we rely on we are going to plant crops niya ang klima kay init kayo, diba? So as what I said a while ago, climate really change. Next is the rain-fed agriculture is dominant in smallholder agricultural system. So kaning rain-fed agriculture is dominant in smallholders, like means that farmers are dependent on the weather for the right quality of water, rather the rains and sunshine, the temperature. So kani ang factors aning farmers kay nagdepend jud ta sa weather. It's depend on the climate nga naa sa ato. It's the we have to kuan nga ang rice sa quality sa kainit sa panahon ug sa kabugnaw sa panahon. So kay ang plants, ang crops, it needs water, it needs sunshine in order to survive. Example of this, not only the crops but also the animals, no, and rearing animals. Kay mamatay man ang hayupan if dili sila makainom og tubig, di ba? Next is we move on to land availability. So it's a basic requirement to be successful in farming according to DeVille et al. 2002. So land availability is the basic requirement to be successful in farming. So from the word basic requirements, from the word land availability. So if ang land is walay land, how we plant, di ba? So it's very important nga naatay available nga mga land in order for us to start to plant, no? So a high population growth rates and certain socio-cultural factors have however limiting the factors to land access in most of the developing worlds. So that's it. So as of now, no, as the population growth higher, also na mga establishment ng gipang tukod, we don't have enough land for us to use in planting. So mano siya ang mga principal influential which can influence environmental components. So the basic components of the environment, no, are the atmospheric or the air. Muna siya ang climate. The lithosphere or the rocks or soil, muna siya. The hydrosphere or the water. Then the water supply and the living components of the environment are. So next we have to move to where farming is practiced. So we really kuan nga ang pag-practice into farming. So farming is a certification system now for agriculture specifying procedures that must be implemented to create food for consumers or further processing so that is safe and using sustainable method. So in practicing farming, we also know nga we are farmers nga we have many agricultural practices and techniques na magvary sa atong environment. Example ani is we use practice irrigation, no, kaysa sa pasagdan lang nato atong farm nga mag-dry. Also the environment affects the quality of the productions, the quantity and the quality. So ang fertility sa characteristics sa soil kay important jud na ang characteristics sa soil, no, kay once we start nga magplano, so daghan jud kay tagbuhaton pa, daghan pa kay tag-ilhon in order for us nga kana nga soil is kana ang makabuhi siya sa crops. So that's it. Daghan as a farmers really have different practices. We have to move to the development of modern technology. So has enabled some of the limitations on agriculture imposed by the environment to be lessened or overcome. So this may account is part for the diminished importance, attachment to the environment, physical environment and agricultural geography in the second half of the 20th century. So the development of modern technology is the innovation. So innovation is more important in modern agricultures so than ever before. So sa una, no, kay we know nga ang wala jud technology nga maka-help sa una, wala pa ng irrigations, wala pa na kuan lang sila sa weather conditions. But as of now, we have many modern technology nga maka-help sa ato in order nga ma-survive ang ato ang mga crops. So So next is we have to move to the environment modification practices. So this environmental modification practices is defined as changes to make the children's world that make it easier to achieve success or avoid problems. So kani sa environmental modification practices. So for farmers in developing countries in the developing world, the possibilities of using modern technologies counteract environmental restrictions are much more limited for capital availability and other reasons. So their farming is often intimately adapted to their local environment and sustainability may depend on this. So, mao na siya ang environmental modification problems or katong modifications from the word modification is we have to change something means change something to our environment. So in developing world, our overgrazing by livestock or inappropriate such as cultivating parallel to the slope may contribute to soil erosion and land degradation. So kaning parallel to slope kato ang kania siya makakuan siya soil erosion and land degradation. So kay kani siya nga practices kaning pag-cultivate sa parallel to the slope kay na mga risk ani. So that's it. So cultivating a parallel to the slope is contour farming. Katawag ana contour farming. So it is the practice of tilling slope a land along lines of consistent elevation in order to conserve rainwater and to reduce soil loss and from surface erosions. So mao to siya. Mao ni siya mga inappropriate kanang overgrazing practices no kaning cultivate kay kana ang magtil man gud ni silang mga lines kay para ko na maka-conserve of rainwater, but kani siya para nila good practice ni siya, but it's inappropriate because maka-cause bitaw ni siya soil erosions no and also the land degradations. Next is the extension of agriculture. Is a major contributors to deforestation which is harmful consequences. So kaning from the word extension is a term which is often to a wide variety of interpretations. So it describes a continual and changing process in rural areas. So kani siya mag-extension sa agriculture. So maka-cause og deforestation kay pag extension ka, example, imo farm kay daghay kahoy. So, if mag-extension ka, so mumutlon gito nimong mga kahoy. So, maka-cause na siya deforestation. So, kay wala na may makapugo nga mga ugat. So, that's it, mag-deforestation na mahotdan og kahoy. So, that's it, maka-cause siya deforestation and harmful consequences. Next, we have to move to the capacity of environmental damage. So, is the greatest, however, is modernized agriculture, and this is receiving increasing attention. So, the capacity for environmental damage is the environmental degradation. So, it's the deteriorations of the environment through depletions of resources such as quality of air, water, and soil. So the destructions of ecosystem, the habitat destructions, and the extension of wildlife and pollution. So mao na siya ang capacity sa environmental damage. So kanimo siya ang pinakagrabe no sa agriculture nga kanang madamage ang environment. So what is agrochemicals? So agrochemicals is the pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers used for the management of ecosystem in agricultural sectors. So rudimentary variations on agrochemicals have been used for millennia to improve crop yields and control the populations of the agricultural pests. So kani mga agrochemicals, so kani siya example ani is katong naka-try makagkuyog sa akong papa sa pag-seminar about agriculture, no. So kanaang daghan jud kaayo mga poster about the pesticides og mga fertilizer in order sa pag nindot sa pagtubo sa crops bitaw. So aside from that, sa pagnindot sa pagtubo is also sa kuan sa mga peste bitaw sa tanom, so para ma-lessen ing ana. So para makuha na to ang pag-control sa population sa growth sa kuan sa Bsed. So as what I said earlier, so kaning mga agrochemicals is siguro as a farmer sad, no, kay we really use kana ang fertilizers and pesticides, mga abono in order sa pag-growth sa among crops. But dili sa siya palabian kay mamatay man ang crops. So that's it. So these agrochemicals also, for me, in my opinion, it really helping sa crops in order to survive and have a good harvest. Next is we move on to the modern agriculture. Modern agriculture has been heavily reliant on consumptions of huge amounts of non-renewable energy sources, raising concern about its energy efficiency. So as you can see in my presentation nga na naay mga modern nga mga technology nga akong gi-present nga in order to help the kana farmers sa pagkuan sa crops. So this modern technology is the physical foundation of human energy, health, and physical well-being. So more people around the world overeat more and better. So sa pag-use aning modern technology, no. So increases production by use in modern agriculture, more people nga makakaon, more increase sa production. Next is we have to move to the agrarian structure and farm population. So agrarian structure is a pattern of land or area group distributions among landholders or agricultural households. So kaniman siya ang mga agrarian. So no naman ni nato no kanang ang mga distributions sa fundamental features in agricultural geography. So are the form of land's ownership and control. Next is the size and arrangements of the farm units and the social relations involving in farming. So mao na siya ang mga fundamental features sa agricultural geography. So next we have to move to the agrarian structure. So what is agrarian structure? So it is the individual farm that is basic organizational and decision-making unit of the agricultural landscape. So kaning is agrarian structure, mao din ni siya ang kaniang individual farm. So kanang nay kaugalingong farm. So sa bukid, no, kami sa una is we have our kaugalingan kay katong nga lupa is it's kanaang sa akong papa. So katin na lupa dako man ka silang lupa dito. So they have farm. So we have farm, our individual farm. Kay we also kanaang sa among farm, we are responsible, no. So sa amo sa una sa akong papa is makatanom siya bisag asa because that's kanang his farm. So wala siya katunga ing ana. So he can kanaang decision sa example sa mga agricultural landscape kung sa iyang itanom. So mana siya. Next is the owner occupancy. So it's generally thought of as a constituting family farming. It includes also corporate and institutional ownerships. So, kaning owner occupancy is a person who owns something. So, a farmer engage agriculture, raising living organism for food and raw materials. A laborer on and the landowner. So kaning owner occupancy mo na siya kay as a farmer, owner ka as kuan, owner ka as well as ikaw ang laborer sa imong plants, sa imong crops. So kaning owner occupancy is this applies to the plantation agricultures of developing world and is increased in many developed countries. So kaning owner occupancy is nindot kani siya nga practices kay it's because you are a owner and also you are a laborer. So makakuan jud ka sa imo ang environment, sa imo ang crops kay ikaw nag-owns ka ana og nag-engage ka ana og nag-raise kag something in order to survive. Next is the tenancy form of land tenure. So from the word tenancy, magtanant ka. Next is the land tenure. When we hear the word land tenure, is the relationship of people or individual with respect to land. Next is we have to move to the communal ownership. So what is communal ownership? So most common in the developing world involves land ownership being vested in a tribal or other community group that it may be allocated to individual families for working. So kaning communal ownership is this communal ownership is this also mostly in rural territory and possessions of the community rather than an individual. So historically, on piece on land are distributed to its member through relevant authority. So kaning communal ownership, kabantay mo anang from the second kanang picture sa akong presentation. So di kana ang nagprotesta na sila because they need land. Example kanang taga-bukid na jud. So naghangyo na sila sa government nga tagaan sila lupa bitaw in order sa ilang matamnan o ilang mapuyan. So that's it. So the government really they really need land para mailang matukuran sa ilang survival sa ilang pagkaon. So that's it. So the other form of communal ownership is the communal farm, so which has been feature of the centrally planned economies in particular. So kaning farm, a communal farm is also called tribal trust lands or TTLS. So territory of the community. Ownership of land has the right to use the property of the portion of it. Next, as we move to the state and corporate farm. So this state and corporate farm are dependent entirely on paid employees, but such workers may occur also on any of the other type of farm. So kani siyang state is the practice of a large-scale agriculture on farm. Kani kay state man or corporate, so man siya large-scale agriculture on farm, owned influenced by large companies. So kung man siya, example ani kay kanang mga dagko nga farms bitaw niya ang nag-own day ana kay mga large companies. Example dito sa Surigao, na ay large dito nga company is the banana plantations, no? The banana plantation which is dako jud kay siya nga farm. Dako siya nga plantation sa banana. But they kuan ato ang tag-iya ato is kuan a large company which is kuan sad siya kana ang company nga mag-produce bitaw kanang papa nga ketchup which is number 1 ingredients man ana kay ang banana. So man siya example ato kay mao to ang example katong banana plantation sa Surigao sa Tandag. So dako jud kay siya, as in dako kay siya nga portion sa land which is makita ni mga puros ra gyud siya saging. So that's it. Nindot kayo ang kuan. So then once we kana ang makaagi mi dito is makakita jud mig mga drone which is mga modern technology nga giuse. Daghan ki siya drone which is used to kana ang kuan ba? Kana ang used to kanang tubig ba? Para patubig sa ilaha. Kanang buo ba? So daghan kay siya drone sa babaw. So nindot kay siya nga kanaang plantation, but that's kuan gipalit ra sad to siya. Then ang mga farmers luoy kay ang nag kuan dito kay ang mga company man. So ang mga farmers they use the opportunity para manarbaho dito, para mananom, para mag-atiman sa mga banana plantation. Ing ana mo na siya ang state example sa state and corporate farms kato ang company nga sa ketchup man to, company sa Papa Ketchup, which is the kuan na large portion of farm in order to plant more bananas. Next is we move to the mechanization. So mechanization has greatly reduced the labor needs in agriculture, while there is an attraction of higher incomes and more favorable working conditions in other activities. So kaning mechanization is the process, no? It is a process of using agricultural machinery to mechanize the work of agriculture. Example ani is katong drone nga akong nakita dyan sa lugar na mo sa una sa Tandag. So they use drone in order to ang produce water, kay dili naman siya mabubuan, kay dako naman kay ang saging. So man siya sa babaw sa saging is daghan kay siya drone para mo kuan siya tubig, mo produce siya tubig. So that's it. Next is the irrigation, katong mga tractors, katong karon kay nananigani bag-o nga mo harvest sa crops nimo, dili na ka maghago kay mo kuan lang kag crops. Next is katong mga turtle ang term sa una is kanang mag-cultivate sa soil. Next is another is katong tracer man to sa amuha. Sa term tracer is kanang magaling sa corn ba. So ipaslak lang nimo dito ang rice, then mo produce na siya, manggawas na to, then mo to ipagaling means kanang to kuhaan tong mga seeds, ang mga panit sa rice ba. So mao na atong gikaon karon, mao na siya din agon ing ana. So kaning mechanization kanang mga agricultural machinery nga nag-evolve og nindot kay siya, it's very nice nga way in order para malesen ang work sa mga farmers. Next is we have to go in growth in part-time farming. So because many farm owners supplement their incomes with off-farm works and are regarded as being engaged in other sectors of the economy. So kaning growth in part-time farming is based on according to my research, that based on the 27 survey, the Development of Agriculture, or DA, or the Department of Agriculture, DA, the average age of farmers in the Philippines is 60 years old. The average income is 100,000 a year. So man siya ang growth in part-time farming is daghan gid kayo ang sa pagbana-bana na to sa population, sa growth, sa mga supplements, sa incomes sa mga farmers, sa na-engage sa sectors of the economy. So as what I've said earlier, nga ang income sa farmers kay dili jud siya enough, no? Kay as we all know, kanang ako'y nakita ato nga it's a vlog nga nagpakita siya nga how farmers really felt nga their crops, they buy that for their survival, kay wala na may mabilin sa ila. So lastly, several studies now have indicated gender biases in access to land for agriculture. According to Meyer 2014, Agra 2013, nga ang gender bias is a gender relation kanang mag-receive sig inadequate recognition ba sa according to kuan So, in many SSA country, no, according to my research, the Niger et al, no, nga ang men are agricultural owners and women can only work on their husband land. So, according to my research, no, mostly sa India, mostly sa ilang mga workers dito is the woman, no? Mostly jud sa pag according to my research makita nimo mga slim women jud ang magtanom kay according to them ang mga laki daw ang mga owners sa land, while the woman is the worker. So no, man is sa ilaha. So whereas women play important roles in all farming and food matters, and especially in developing economies where they may do much of the agricultural works. So it's according to my research to U.S. Department of Agricultural, women fills many roles in agriculture. Here in the Philippines, no, mostly balisad sa ilaha. Mostly our workers in the farmer here is the men, no. Kay as I also product of a farmer, farm family, no, a farmer's family. So my father is also the one ang mga laki jud ang magtanom, mag-harvest ing ana. And the women is they can cook, they can kanang provide sa makaon sa ilang mga husband. But also some other kuan nga sa amo asad for instance sa amo as magtinabangay, we really help each other. That's it. To sum it up, to conclude my report is agricultural and rural geography is very important. It's very the term is the only thing that I can is to survive, and also by the use of modern technology, the agrochemicals, and also those ownerships, and also those mechanization, land reforms, and the owner occupancy, also the kanaang modification, adaptations to the environment are very important, and we really need to always put in our mind that agriculture is it can provide us foods and raw materials, and women play important role in farming and food matters. So not just we are from preparing foods, but also we are also the one who make foods. So that's it. So thank you everyone for listening, and hope you enjoy and learn something from my discussions. So once again, this is Grace Villahermosa Silagan from Bsed Social Studies Wednesday Day. And good day everyone. Thank you for listening.